Hey folks, this is Kelani. It looks like patch 8.3 is now more or less confirmed to be happening, so buckle up your belts, ladies and gents. We're not out of Battle for Azeroth just yet. I wonder where 8.3 will take us, and how much of it will just be set up for the next expansion. There's also some changes to a handful of essences, which make them both much harder to acquire, but also kind of easier to acquire at the same time. It's a bit of a balancing act. There was a round of nerfs which made it take longer to pick up these essences, and then there was another nerf which reduced the requirements for getting those same essences, but it's just kind of making it back to what it was. I guess Blizzard realized some essences do take a little too long to pick up, even at rank 2 and 3, because they are making some changes. Let's have a look at the specifics. The essences in question are the ones which require you to earn a certain amount of honor to unlock rank 2, 3 and 4 versions of the essence. I think there's only 3 essences that this affects: the Blood of the Enemy, the Artifice of Time and the Sphere of Suppression. Some of these essences are incredibly valuable for a handful of classes, so the honor grind was always a bit of a hot topic for those classes and specs specifically. Getting your hands on rank 1 wasn't really that difficult, you just had to win in a few different forms of PvP content, but past that is where the grind really started. You needed 15,000 honor farmed for rank 2 of these essences and 50,000 honor for rank 3. That's a lot of honor no matter how you look at it or how much you love PvP. You're grinding battlegrounds for days on end, even with the various bonuses you could gain access to. Those bonuses were the target of the first round of nerfs. The big one for the Horde especially was the mercenary mode. If you didn't know about this, I'm sorry to say you're a bit too late, but for the most part, if you played Horde, you could get a 50% bonus to all your honor gains by using the mercenary mode and playing for the Alliance side instead. The Horde typically have longer queue times because more players are on the Horde side. That's the main requirement for the mercenary mode to become available. Longer queue times for your faction. I don't think the Alliance will have seen mercenary mode available for quite a while, just like how the Horde have never seen the higher bonuses from war mode due to the faction imbalance. That 50% bonus honor has been straight up stripped out of the mercenary system, so there goes one huge advantage when it comes to farming up honor. The second large bonus was the quests available in Epic Battlegrounds, things like Victory in Wintergrasp, which rewarded you with 1500 honor. There was one quest in Wintergrasp, one quest in Ashran, and one quest in Alterac Valley, if I'm not mistaken. The first nerf to these quests was to just reduce the amount of honor you get. The Alterac Valley and the Ashran quests were apparently reduced from 1500 honor down to 1000 honor each, while the Wintergrasp quest remained at 1500 honor. But it doesn't even really matter when it comes to these essences, because the second nerf was to change these quests so that none of their honor gains count towards your essence achievements at all. That's a huge chunk of potential honor earned that simply won't affect your progress towards these essences anymore. If the dev team had left these essences as they were right after these honor nerfs, it would have taken significantly longer to obtain any of these PvP essences when compared to before these changes took place. As time goes on, and especially as new patches are released, older content is typically made easier and less time consuming, but these nerfs went in the opposite direction. I know the dev team said they wouldn't be introducing any catch-up mechanics for the essences anytime soon, but making them harder seems kind of daft if you ask me. I guess they felt the same way because they took to the hotfix gun once again to make some more changes. This time the changes were aimed at making the essences faster to acquire to offset the nerfs to earning honor. Apparently, the mercenary bonus and the epic battleground quests were never supposed to count towards the honor total for the essences and their achievements. But they certainly took their time fixing that particular bug, didn't they? Either way, to offset those changes, the essences now require 10,000 honor for rank 2, down from 15, and 30,000 honor for rank 3, down from 50,000. That's a massive chunk of honor cut right off the top, and that means you might be able to log in right now and earn your next rank of these essences without really having to do much of anything. All you need is one extra honor point to update your current achievement progress, and boom, instant essences, providing of course you're over the new thresholds to earn the essences. What is kind of interesting is that even with these changes, it's going to affect the two factions quite differently. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a lot easier to obtain. The mercenary nerf alone makes the Horde's grind significantly longer. 50% bonus honor for every activity is huge, and now it just isn't available anymore. Combine that with the large honor rewards from epic battleground quests, and earning 30,000 honor towards that achievement now could take quite a bit longer than earning 50,000 honor before these changes were made. Over on the Alliance side, however, I think it's just a straight up buff. They never had access to the mercenary bonus, so the only thing they would lose is the epic battleground quest reward. A 5k reduction on rank 2 and a 20k reduction on rank 3 might be enough to offset the quest rewards entirely, meaning an Alliance player might be able to pick up these essences faster today than they were able to in patch 8.2, while the Horde might be a bit of the same or maybe even slower. It definitely does close the gap between the time it takes to grind it out on Alliance versus the time it took while playing Horde though. There were also some changes to the Agon reputation essences and that particular grind. The problem with these essences was the required items to purchase the higher ranks. You needed a lot of spare parts and galvanic oscillators. Those oscillators acted as a time gate because from what I understand, you could only ever get 2 per day maximum. Now you can craft them at Pascal King. They'll set you back some chain igniter coils, some energy cells and of course spare parts, but it looks like you should be able to endlessly create them providing you have enough materials to go around. That might end up making the spare parts the time gate here, but you can farm those endlessly in Agon, so that's a much better deal than having to wait on more galvanic oscillators. So even though they said they wouldn't introduce any catcher mechanics, the grind for these particular essences from Agon reputation has gotten potentially quite a bit easier. All of the other essences haven't been touched, so if you were hoping to get an easier bodyguard essence or mythic plus essence or even the raid essence, I'm afraid those requirements are still set in stone. They might get some changes in patch 8.3, but we won't know until we see more information. Oh, patch 8.3. Did I say 8.3? Yeah, I guess that's going to be a thing. I know a lot of people, myself included, were wondering if patch 8.3 would be skipped over entirely, and maybe they would drop a huge bombshell of a new expansion on us at BlizzCon and say, here it is! Here's where we're going next, and oh by the way, it's releasing in a few months. That would have been pretty epic, but I guess the 2-year expansion cycle wins out this time. A patch 8.3 build was just detected on the Blizzard distribution servers. That's where the patches go before they're sent to everyone else via the BNet client, so it's ready to go. I guess they just have to push the button to send it to our PTR clients. Bear in mind this is a PTR build, so we might not see a lot when it initially becomes active, but with BlizzCon just around the corner, I'm not sure they'll actually push patch 8.3 to the PTR anytime soon. Usually when we see the patch hit the vendor servers, we get some info about the patch within the next 2 weeks, and then the PTR goes up a week or 2 after that. That's what happened with patch 8.2 at any rate, but BlizzCon is really clouding everything here. Why would they announce anything before BlizzCon? They could do it in a blog post, sure, or they could do it on stage. On stage surely makes the most sense. Get everyone hyped up about the next patch and be able to deliver a more polished patch when it does become available for testing. That gives them another month. Waiting it out seems like their best bet right now, and even if they did send out any build info to the client, I'm not sure they would even allow any data mining to start. You might think they don't have a choice on that front, and for the longest time, it seemed like they didn't. Wowhead usually fires up their drills as soon as something new is even hinted at, but for patch 8.2 specifically, a lot of info was encrypted and hidden away where the drills couldn't reach. If the dev team can hide things from the data miners now, they might be able to hide an entire patch if they really wanted to, or at least all of the important parts of it. 8.3 could go up on the PTR, but we might not be able to see anything important until the dev team allows us to. That changes how patch previews are going to work, which is super exciting for me. Not knowing what patch 8.2.5 was about made it a lot more fun to actually play through when it came onto live servers. You couldn't read about every little detail before the patch came out. You couldn't view the cinematics ahead of time, couldn't read the quest text to figure out the ending. It was really refreshing, and I don't doubt we'll see more hidden patches as we move forward. So I doubt we will see much of 8.3 until BlizzCon, but at least we know it's in the works and Battle for Azeroth isn't done just yet. Unless, of course, they already have their hands full with the new expansion. We know we're going to at least hear about the next expansion at BlizzCon. It almost has to happen at this point. We should find out where the story takes us next, whether Sylvanas is a key figure again, and we'll be able to confirm or debunk all of the crazy leaks, including the Shadowlands expansion idea. But if they have a lot of expansion stuff to talk about already, like a lot of it, they might not want to spend that much time talking about patch 8.3. Maybe they'll get patch 8.3 out of the way in the next few weeks so BlizzCon can be all about the next real adventure. I kinda doubt it though. I bet the one and only goal right now at Blizzard is preparing for BlizzCon, so I guess anything else will be low on the totem pole of priorities. But hey, a guy can always hope. So a few essences are easier to get, the PvP ones specifically are easier or a little harder depending on which faction you're going to be playing on. Patch 8.3 might be coming soon, but we at least now know we have confirmation that an 8.3 patch will in fact be happening. October still looks like a bit of a dry month for World of Warcraft, but November should be super juicy for all things Blizzard. And that's it for this video. What do you think about the nerf, then unnerf but still kind of nerf to the PvP essences and their notorious grind? Do you think acquiring essences should be faster now that they've been out a while, or should they always remain a long grind no matter what? What do you think we'll get up to in patch 8.3, and do you think the dev team will announce it before BlizzCon or save everything for the big stage? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to join these lovely guys and gals, you can find a link in the description below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.